to get married or not, or already married and want to rekindle the flame? Well, that's great, because we can help you. Here, we, Dwayne and Angel Merritt, have been together for 20 years and have been through a lot of life experiences with each other. Come and meet us live on Facebook at Marriage Matters with the Merritts every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Or you can listen to us on Sound C, Loud, or iTunes too. We will be happy to help you take your first steps towards a beautiful married life. We will be sharing our experiences and talking about everything that matters to your marriage, offering a retreat for couples who want to improve or repair their relationship, but don't know how to. So every Thursday, 9 p.m., tune up your marriage by tuning in to our Marriage Matters podcast. Don't forget, it's every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. See you soon.
What's up? Welcome to Marriage Matters with the Merritts.
Yes.
We have some special guests with us tonight. Shout out to Pastors Antonio and Nina Sims.
What's up, everybody?
Hi, everybody.
Glad to be on the show. Thank you for having us, Merritt.
Clap at home. Come on.
What's up?
Wait, what's the name of that church?
True. No, wait. You gotta say it.
Here we go. Come on.
Are they repping the thing?
Come on, Pastor.
They already
Come on. Do it the way it's supposed to be done.
True worship. True worship is like you gotta say it like you feel it.
Say it like you mean it.
Because it's who we are. It's in us.
Come on.
Say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest. Hey, we want to welcome you to another episode. This is episode 10 of Marriage Matters with the Merritts. And we just want to welcome you, man. You know what you got to do. Before we even get into the conversation, all things relationship, share it right now. I'm going to give you like 10 seconds to share it. Share it. And then, if you got questions, go ahead and put them on. So, we putting Pastor Antonio and Lady Nina on the spot today.
On the spot.
So if you got any questions, you gotta ask.
They got to answer.
Grown folk, though.
Grown folk stuff.
Put the kids to bed.
Mature conversation.
That late night stuff. Listen, if you do what you did last week, the week before that, we gonna be mad. Because y'all go back and watch it later. Then y'all put y'all questions on. Put them on now.
Yeah.
All right, put them on now. And we just going to jump into all things relationship. And the reason we call it all things relationship, because we just going to talk about all things relationship. So
we just talking about all things.
Yeah,
it might be before relationships.
Y'all sure
before
y'all.
There was all things before relationships.
Which
matters.
Y'all might have to edit the show.
Let me tell you something.
Because we ain't always been saved, y'all.
Y'all ain't always been saved.
And we ain't always been married.
I know this one my whole life. Before.
This is my twin, y'all. For those of you that don't know, this is baby sister.
This is my best friend. So I knew her before she married my brother.
So as a matter of fact, you had connected everything up, right?
I connected.
Angel played matchmaker.
She did.
So
right.
I know the ins and outs of the pre-relationship, the during relationship, the breaking up in the relationship.
Come on,
and then
talk about it.
who they are right
Talk
now.
about it.
So if I give a weird look, that mean they lying. They trying to make it look good. So let's get into it.
Let's jump into it. What you got?
All right, so I see, because what y'all don't know, he never know what I'm gonna ask on the show. So like, I got some stuff that I'm gonna spring on all of y'all.
Okay.
A little bit later down, just to get y'all feedback, what you think.
Okay.
So first, y'all two, just tell us who y'all are and all that good stuff. Go ahead.
Well, I'm Pastor Antonio from True Worship Church, and I've been pastoring now for 9 years. We have a church in Ferndale, Michigan, and the Lord has just really been blessing us, and we've got some wonderful things in store. We've got 6 beautiful children. I mean, absolutely heavenly. They are some beautiful children, and my wife is fertile myrtle, so we had to take care of that, because if she didn't, she would be pregnant probably right now. But God is good.
He sneezed on her, she get pregnant.
So I'm Nina Sims. I'm a mother of 6. We also been married for 15 years, and we have their ages are 28. So we have grown children and young children.
You got a 28-year-old.
Yes.
28.
What's the youngest?
8. They're 8 years old twins. And then our oldest is 28 years old, and then we have a 22, a 10-year-old. So
and one is named after me.
Yes.
Throw that out there.
Why you gotta bring?
I'm just saying.
Come on, man.
And I'm And I'm a preschool teacher too, so I work with kids all around the clock. So that's just a little.
How's that working with kids? No, wait, Tony. How is her working with kids? Do she get on your nerves when she get home for working with kids? How is that whole dynamic?
Yeah. She works with
high
risk children.
Wow.
So,
Come on.
So when she comes home, like, she really needs to rest. Like, she just needs to take a break from it all. And we're very fortunate because our younger children are a little bit older now, so they can kind of take care of themselves. So right. So I think she just needs a break after because it's tough.
And then you work with kids at church too, right?
Yeah, so I do youth camps. I work with the children's church ministry. Yeah, I can't get away from the kids. So as much as I try to get away, I'm drawn to the little people. So I love them. So it is stressful at times, but they are our next generation. So I just feel like it's so important to be a rock to them or help them with stability and all that good stuff. So it is draining sometimes, but I do enjoy my summers. Yeah. Like right now, I'm watching Netflix at night. I have more devotion time. I'm having more time with my family. I'm having time just being a little lazy that I normally don't get to do. Yeah. So I'm enjoying just doing sometimes nothing, which is not normal for me. So
before you go there, can I?
Yeah,
can I? Please. Okay.
We see how you ask. I love it.
I thought you said just jump in. You don't do that with Angel, so I know who the boss is.
I'm setting up cool points. You know what I mean? I'm going to sleep next to her. You said something powerful, man, and I want the men to listen to this. You said that when she get home, she need a break.
Yeah.
Like, how are you able to recognize that, and how does that, because you just don't, us as men, right? Yeah. We can be selfish sometimes. How do you learn that, or how do you see that? How do you, just share that with us. Yeah. That's powerful.
Yeah, I think, if you love someone, like, you will do whatever is necessary to find out how to please that person, right? So I know my wife's love language.
Come on.
Okay. What is it?
And it is...
Let's see if you get it right. Uh-oh. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it 100.
What is it, honey?
She likes it when I do work around the house.
Okay. Acts of service.
Okay. Acts of service. So,
I love a clean house. I like cook dinner.
Yeah, folding clothes and all that kind of
stuff. You don't just dump them on the couch.
No. Like I really try to help wherever I can.
Come on.
Because, a man has needs. And I understand the way that love works is when you love without expectation.
Yeah. There you go.
But when you love somebody in their love language, they want to love you back.
Yeah. And I just want to say, this is 15 years, y'all.
15 years.
This is 15 years. Angel will agree with me. The first 10, this is probably not the same conversation. So
Absolutely.
This is maturing in the relationship because when you came home from work earlier in the years, when I came home from work early in the years, there was no break.
No.
And there was no understanding neither. And I don't even think it was communicated. I think it was just kind of like the expectation of a new relationship. You don't really know until you're in it, and then it's not working.
See, but I came up, and I'm sure that there are others that the man, he went to work, paid the bills, and that was it. And, the wife, she had her roles.
Yeah.
And I think that it's so important that we don't get caught up in our past culture.
Say that again,
because
brother.
when you get saved, now you're living in a kingdom culture, and now this is where God comes in to make relationships even better.
Come on.
And so I had to learn as an adult male who's been in the Marine Corps, and I'm a man's man. Like I, handle my business, but I had to learn how to love, and that was stepping back and being really mindful of her feelings and others' feelings. So I think that makes a difference. Like, you really have to be in tune with God, because He can make something that is rough and rugged, and he can make it sweet. Yeah.
So what would you say to couples that feel like they want to give up because they ain't learned this yet? Because now, think about it, and this is what I think. I think that the new Reformation or the new movement is not basically, in and out of church around theology or a new thought. I think it's loving your wife and loving your children.
Simple stuff.
Being on display, right?
Yeah.
Right. So what would you say to men that they haven't figured that piece out?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you, it's not something that just falls out of the sky.
Come on, man.
Like the Bible talks about, faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. Like, you really need to be rooted and grounded in an environment where you have a strong support system, right? So you have to be very intentional in your walk with God, because this is real. Like, we have us four, I've seen us throughout the years, and you kind of wonder, like, why don't other people get it, right? Like, because this is transformational. Like we used to be one way, but we're not the same anymore. Because we really believe God is real, and we've had an experience with Him, which changes everything. Like you can't taste God and can't say that He ain't good. Like He really makes a difference. So you need a strong support system, but you have to be very intentional to spend time in your Word, find other men that are
be vulnerable, man.
Trying.
Other men that are kind of doing the things that you might need help in.
Yeah, there you go.
To be able to talk to, me and Nina talk to couples all the time, right? And it's so important that you have people that have been there already.
Yeah.
Right? We have couples that have been married longer than us that we enjoy spending time talking to and kind of gleaning from and hearing their experience, all of their experiences, because there's nothing new under the sun. So it's nothing that we can experience right now that hasn't been conquered already. So it gives us hope. And so now it's important for us, when we experience victory in our relationships, to share that with other people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I just want to add, though, just like what Angel said at the beginning, it's like we're in it to win it. So if you get married, you're in it to win it.
And you're setting up the cool point.
That you're in it to win it, and you're patient, right? You got to be patient. Like, you can't, it's all about expectation and stuff like that. And in the beginning, sometimes you don't have the support. You didn't see healthy relationships. You don't. So you have to kind of create a culture where you're surrounding yourself and being part of the community where you guys are learning. But all of us have one agenda, is that we're in it to win it. So we're not in it to quit, or if it doesn't, we're trying to figure it out. So if you have the mentality that I'm in it to win it, it makes it easier to figure out a better way to love your spouse. It makes it easier, a better way to come bring it down a little bit, or learn new ways to communicate, because you only communicated as a single person. Now you got to communicate with a partner, and it's a challenge. That's communication is hard, and vulnerability is hard, and sometimes it's not that you don't want to, you just don't know how until you're in situations where you're God will make you bring you all the way down to force you to be in a space that's uncomfortable and hard.
Nina, so many people I think they go into marriage with a failure mentality. But sometimes they go into it with a plan B. So when you go into it already,
I've had set it up to fail.
People they'll tell me like, well, I got a stash over here just in case this. I'm like, you haven't even walked down the aisle. You already preparing for the divorce.
Come on, man.
So if that's what you're preparing for, you're already looking at divorce. It's easier to you're going to walk into what you're speaking. You're speaking that over your. And
then they'll compare their husband or their wife to where you're at. Like, we're here now, 15 years, but if you ask me in my first 5 years, you got to be. There's a part of you that has to change too. It's not just like, well, I wish he would do this and I wish she would do that. But what have you done to create a space for them to change too? And that requires change from you. So it may not have to be the same changes, but it is something that God's trying to mature in you or change you. If it's even communicating in a different way, or being quiet, or just creating an environment so they can change as well. So I know, but I don't mean be quiet, because it's not like, it just means let some stuff process a little bit. Knowing when to say what you need to say and how to say it.
You don't have to fight every battle.
Every battle.
What you just said, powerful. I think that comes with knowing yourself.
Yes.
Because think about it. How many times do we jump off the handle and then come to ourselves and say, man, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, for real.
I shouldn't have did that. And what we do, and we teach this, is that we always hear Tone Watch Football. Y'all don't, so
we don't.
Just chill on this.
Can't relate.
But when someone gets drafted into the NFL and they real good in college, and then they put them on the field and they kind of get exposed, then they get better the next year, they always say this, the game is slowing down to me. Meaning that now I'm reacting to the speed. And I think marriage is the same way. When you got a temperature to your marriage, you got a speed to your marriage, and I think that you have to know yourself to know, maybe I shouldn't say nothing right now. Like maybe I should take a minute to think, because I know my anger, but we'd be surprised how many people don't know themselves.
Or you know your spouse's anger.
We got a question on what you just said.
What?
Sunshine says, how do you know how not to fight the battle? So when do you know to step back?
That's a good question.
That's a good
What y'all
question.
think? I say you got to know yourself. Go ahead. What you think?
You got to lose some to know.
Uh-oh.
Like, you got to have battled to know.
A lot of times,
you know what I mean?
It's
know like
that I'm right,
experience.
I be like, the truth is gonna come out anyway.
That's
Come on, man. Wait, hold on.
The truth was set up
with
right.
you?
Yeah, I'm like, I already
There's
know
nothing
I'm
to
right.
say, right? Like,
If I just let it play out.
What about when you think you're right and you're wrong?
Because sometimes what I learned, when you're quiet, you win.
Yeah.
You win.
Wait, hold on.
Because you know how hard it is? You know how people say it's harder to walk? That's a true fact. It's harder to walk away. It's harder to, It's harder not to fight. It's easy to fight. It's easy to go in, but it's easy. It's you win if you let the other person just explode. Wait.
I'm
gonna be short.
Listen. One of the fruits of the Spirit is self-control.
Come on.
And like we always, like we too smart for our own good. Like God has given us all this means to be able to relate and have victory in relationship.
Yeah.
So I have this thing that I call flipping stones. So you flip stones until you find out what works. Mm-hmm. So she ain't going nowhere and I'm not going nowhere. So we're going to flip stones until we figure out what's going to bring the peace and the joy and all those other things that's going to make our marriage happy. So I think that at the end of the day, it always comes back to the Spirit. It always comes back to God. It's a 3-strand cord, not a 2-strand cord.
Yeah, absolutely.
So whenever we're in the room, it's me, Nina, and God.
Come on.
So not only am I having a conversation with her or listening to her, I need to be listening and talking to God at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? Because he is the one who kind of leads us like, don't say nothing. But you got to have self-control. See, because we come up, especially in an environment and society where everybody got something to say.
Everybody got
you want to have the last word.
Yeah.
I got to have the last word. See, but I'd rather the Lord have the last word because he's the one, when he makes a change, he makes a real change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you know what I mean?
So the question should be too, not, how do you know how not to fight the battle, but how to fight the battle.
How to fight.
So
Come on, man.
Sometimes some things being quiet is not meaning not addressing
How
something. Like you do need to address stuff that's bothering you, and that's heavy on your heart, or that's dysfunctional, because it's not going to go away if you don't address it. It's just, how do I address this battle is really the question we ask ourselves. How and it's really going back to God, right, Lord? How should I address this to get the best out of the situation? Because if I address it in my feelings, it probably won't go. I can kind of play that thing out before it happens.
And it's a time for everything.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
See,
everything.
Sometimes it's not the right time right now for me to make my point.
Yeah.
Because she might not be in the right place to receive it.
Yeah.
And I need to be in tune enough to say this is not the right time. Step out, right?
Yeah.
Because we have what we call non-negotiables, right?
Teach.
The D word is not allowed in our house.
Don't come in. Bottom line.
So if we have an issue, right, and it's not the right time, right, be angry but sin not.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to a different room, but I'm not leaving the house.
Come on.
You understand what I'm saying? So we're just going to wait until the right time.
Yeah.
But that's comes from experience. We've got to experience it. And the only way that you can get that experience is by not giving up.
Now let me ask y'all this, because, so the flipping stones, love it. But what would you say to some, because tell me if I'm wrong. This is what I think. I think sometimes fear grips us and we don't do anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So like you said that the D word is non-negotiable.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like our bottom line.
Yeah.
Do you think that gives confidence for us to be able to express ourselves? If I know she ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. That's good.
So when it's the D word flying around, I might not say nothing. You might got somebody out there that's saying, I know I want to say something, but I think she going to leave if I say something, so I ain't going to say nothing. Or I think he going to go cheat if I say something, so I ain't going to say nothing. What would you say to them people?
Yeah, see, because that's a thin line.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why. Because it all depends on the person's heart.
Gotcha.
Because if I know that she's not leaving,
Yeah.
right, that doesn't give me the green light to
Say
treat her
whatever.
any kind of way.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like,
That's
I still
right.
got to be mindful of what I'm saying to her because I want to get the best out of her because she on my team.
Yeah.
Now, you tell me what team don't want their team to win.
Come on,
And
man.
who want to be miserable every day? Because if you have that type of culture in your house, who want to come home to that? Who wants to be in that every day? It's just going to be a.
So y'all
not
address
a
this
healthy
thing as teammates.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
that's good. So if you don't address it as a teammate, because we got marriages that's
Can't
against each other.
nobody,
Yeah,
can't
they
nobody
don't trust each
outside
other.
our house mess this up.
Come on,
you
man.
feel me?
Come on,
Yeah.
come on.
And you got to know when to pray about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna let you say something.
Oh.
What you want me to say?
I don't know.
I know.
All right, we got a question in there. Hey, now, to the person that asked that question, Sunshine, she just said she was guilty. Hey, we changed your lives. Oh, that was you? You guilty?
Is guilty.
Oh, well, both y'all sisters.
I haven't had the last word.
Yeah.
Oh, you guilty?
Yeah.
I used to, but I've been delivered.
Chantel,
Now I let the Lord.
Look,
be the
I know.
last
I'm
word.
gonna say,
like,
Nina
I'm gonna let you.
has caught me several occasions.
don't get Nina in trouble now.
No,
This
see,
early
I'm
in the
not-
marriage,
yeah.
and
What?
she would say, "Yo, brother." Anytime the conversation starts off with the words,
Yo, brother.
Hey,
Yo,
look,
brother.
I used
Look,
to
now-
mess some stuff up.
Hold on, now I'll be
For real.
like, now
I know it's serious.
when he say he
I
go
used
into
to mess
another
some
room.
stuff up.
Look, when he say he had go, I'll be like, you need to go into another room.
That's my way. I don't leave. I'm not leaving my house. You need to go for a ride.
No, for real, y'all.
I would say this is
Nina,
real
look,
talk. I'm not lying. This is not
heated.
for fun. I would be like, go to another room.
And Tone being heated. Now listen, I know Tone before he was saying Tone being heated is a different type of heated.
Yeah.
All right, that's military, Marine,
passion,
and 6 Mile and Thatcher.
Come on now.
And
like we ain't no
so
soldiers.
that's a different type of heated.
Right.
Yeah.
Now look, Chantel got a question. I think that's a good question. How do you learn to remove or control emotional responses in the relationship / marriage? Now, y'all want to jump at it because we got a technique that we use. I know y'all got a technique you use. All right, so we do this thing where we really focus on emotional responses. Mm-hmm. So we do this thing where we call a meeting. Like, so we encourage couples, when we counsel couples, anybody who meet with us, they have to set up a meeting. We call it relationship business meetings, where we discuss things that need to be discussed that we're fearful of discussing when we're emotional. Mm-hmm. What that psychologically does, by your third one, you're having conversations about things that would normally get you very emotional, but we just know it's the business of the house. Now, we can't go all the way into it, but basically I'm saying we have to practice answering. We have to practice self-control. Yeah. Then we have to practice understanding what the business of marriage is, and then what the emotional part of marriage is. Because I think sometimes we're taught that if you love them, you're good, but that's not it.
No.
We got, the Bible said, in business, be men. We got business to handle in our relationship. Yeah. Whether me and Angel mad at each other or not, the lights got to be on, the kids got to eat. So we practice having conversations, real talks, without the emotions attached. Now, it's not easy the first time, but as you continue to do it, I can come home to Angel now and say, you know what, when you said that the other day, you kind of, that irritated me. Well, tell me what. Let's talk about it, because talking is the answer to everything. That's what we feel. That's just one way, though. I know you guys got a way, and let's throw it around. What do y'all think?
And to add on to that, I might have said this before, but
say it again, then.
So part of what he's talking about, the business meeting, a point that I always bring out in our counseling sessions is that when you talk about business, every business, they have a mission statement. They have a vision of their business or whatever it is. So I said, but when it comes to your marriage or relationship, a lot of times couples come in and they don't know what the vision is of their marriage.
Yeah. Where are we going?
So a lot of times, so this is what makes those business meetings a lot easier. So just like at work, if you go in and somebody say, hey, I have a great idea, let's do X, Y, and Z. If I can say that's a great idea, but it doesn't line up with the vision of the company, then we can't do it. The same thing with your marriage. So that's what we encourage when we have our marriage business meetings. If now it takes the offense out of it. So if he comes to me and say, hey, I have a great idea, let's do this, I can say that's a wonderful idea, but let's go back to the vision of our marriage. Is this lining up with our goal of what we're trying to do? Or maybe just not right now, but down the line. So it's not me rejecting him saying it, or him rejecting me. It's saying it's a great idea, but it's not going to help us get to where we're trying to go.
Yeah. I think when I think about the question about how do you remove these emotional responses, right? And this thought, this picture came to mind of wine in a wineskin. That wine in a wineskin, over a period of time, it matures, right? But there's a lot of activity that's taking place.
Yeah.
So when you look at a marriage or in relationships, God brings people together to be fruitful. So I have to see myself as Nina might do things that bother or irritate me. But what we have a tendency to do, watch this though, but what we have a tendency to do is start asking ourselves the question, what's wrong with them?
Come on, I see you.
But God brought us together for her to reveal what was wrong with me. And so by us not going nowhere, right, I always have to ask myself, Lord, what is it that you're trying to reveal in me? What are you trying? And see, that's what brings the change, because God is going to deal with her because he loves her more than I do, right? But he's trying to get me to my full potential, so he sent somebody to pull and kind of, prick those different areas that's going to make me a better man.
Absolutely.
So then because God, I don't believe God is emotional. God is love. That's who he is, right? So he don't trip when things is going bad. He don't stress out when we in a crisis. Like he's good. He's good all the time. So therefore he wants us to be like him. If he ain't worried about it, we shouldn't be worried about it.
That's right.
That's good, man.
So let me ask y'all this.
Go ahead, ask me anything.
So I have pulled up this article, and it's from 2013, though. So that means these numbers are probably even higher. But it says 50% of pastors are divorced and 70% are depressed.
Please say that again.
50% of pastors are divorced and 70% are depressed.
Staggering number.
And then listen to this. It says 90% of pastors report working between 55 and 75 hours per week. Yeah. Which is very important because I think a lot of people don't realize the work of a pastor. They think that they think pastors just get up Sunday morning and preach and that's it, and then y'all just on an island or beach, chilling.
Can I say this while you going there? Just to throw this out there, Sunday morning is very important, but I know they can attest to this. It's minute in the grand scheme of what we do. I mean, I think. Just the care that we carry throughout the week, and then we're not only carrying our family, but we're carrying other,
carrying a whole lot
and the call.
Yeah.
Yep. 50% of pastors report feeling unable to meet the demands of their jobs.
Yep.
70% consistently fight depression. 50% of pastors start out will not last 5 years. 50% of pastors' marriages end in divorce. 70% of pastors do not have a close friend. Now that one, I thought.
How many percent?
70% of pastors do not have a close friend. What do you think about that? Before I go read the rest.
Man,
I can say it's true. I mean, just from even our experience.
I could go into so much, but I'm just going to just give a little bit. I just think that pastoring is hard, especially when you really have a passion for God. And I think the only reason that I haven't quit, and they say that most pastors quit on Mondays.
Yeah.
Every Monday.
The only reason that I haven't quit is because I think that because I've experienced God.
Yeah.
Right? And I have to constantly remind myself of the why. Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And it's not for me. Right, because I've already received my crown.
There you go.
So therefore, I just have to trust God through the process. But it doesn't take away the fact still it's hard.
It's hard.
It's really hard, and I think that there's a lot of pastors that don't go through the process of training. And what I mean by that is, we get a call from God, and I'm just speaking from a particular culture. That you experience God. You might have come up in church, and you get you just start running for Jesus. But you haven't counted the cost of what it's going to take to actually do it.
Yeah.
But that's why we need fathers in the church. We need fathers and mothers that are able to help pour into pastors and to teach them and to train them and to equip them and release them. Because there's a lot of pastors that have just gone out running on their own.
Yeah.
And so they burn themselves out because not having a friend, because they're in competition with the church that's down the street.
Come on, man.
Or they may have pastor friends that they're in competition with.
Yeah.
So there's just so many things, but I just want to speak to, we have at our church, what I call the TWC Christian model, and you just picture a pie. And then the middle of the pie is God. And that pie is broken into 4 different parts. And you've got work, you've got church or ministry, you've got family, and then you've got rest. Because a lot of people burn out doing ministry, but you've got to take breaks. You've got to take sabbaticals. You've got to take time off, right? But if you keep God in the center of that pie, and He is your focus, you'll give the energy that you need in all the 4 different parts of that pie.
Yeah.
So me and Nina, we have our time. We have time with our children. I believe in taking breaks. I encourage my leaders to take time to go on vacation because I want them to get rejuvenated, and I want to kind of help teach them a healthy model of life.
Yeah.
Right? And so if it's all about church and it's all about ministry, you can lose your family.
Absolutely.
Your first ministry is your house, and I'm not going to let anything break that up. So
now let's talk, because we did a vacation piece last week, and I thought it was just really good for us, us, because we were just talking, we were just kicking it. So you got people out there that's not in ministry. How important? Now we know it's important for people in ministry, and how important is it for just people that's just married? Like we need to get away. Like how important is that rest or getting away? Like
I mean, I think for us, I mean, and I say us meaning y'all too, because I just we've kind of done this thing together. Is that I can see where we would probably have failed in our marriage and the ministry if we have not took those breaks.
Yeah.
I see times where it was causing problems here, like we're fighting about little stuff, in our marriage or about church stuff, or then and it rolls over to your family stuff. And so then if you don't get the quality time that you need as just a husband and wife, just as two people that are friends and together, then all that business stuff can, just like going to work. Who needs a vacation from their job? I work with kids. I need a vacation. And I don't need one just once a year. Okay. I need a Thanksgiving vacation. I need a Christmas vacation. Right. So we take more vacations from our job than we do sometimes in ministry. Yeah. And it's like we feel like it can't go without us. And, you know, earlier on, I feel like that might have been more of a problem, like, oh, it won't be this way if we don't go and you don't come. But I think now we've matured and we've seen it will, if you know, we'll do good. It'll be okay. Yeah. But I just think that it caused, because you need to talk, like that time apart is not always just the fun part. It's just really kind of talking through, really being able to be in a place where you feel safe as a wife. I can say this as a wife, to really say what I really feel about certain things in a safe place. It's like the timing. It's not the time when you're in the pool, like you got off the pulpit to express, I don't like this, or I'm having an issue with this, and I'm defiant here. It's good to have those pillow talks. Yeah, I'm like this, you know, I'm just like, pillow talk on vacation. Yeah. And it could be a staycation. It's just something to pull away from your life, you know. I mean, from your day-to-day stuff. And I just think with ministry, because like Tony said, it's not, I already got my crown. So what I'm doing is not for me. It's for I'm thinking about other people. Right. And when sometimes you're not getting the responses, not necessarily it's not even about them coming. It's just the change, like them getting. Really knowing Jesus and really understanding who they are and how much they're loved. It can be a little draining. It's like seeing your kids grow up and then like you go get on drugs, or seeing your kids grow up and then just they're, you know, kind of go in a direction. You're, as a parent, you're like, what are you doing? Right. And you know but you have to let them go and stuff. So it's just, it can be really hard on marriage, and especially if you're not on the same page. Like if you're not supporting, like if you're, especially young pastors who are just maybe stepping out to call, if your household is not supportive, it's not time. Talk about that. It's not time. I know for a fact that my husband would be depressed or divorced if I wasn't on his page. I mean, on the same page with him. It doesn't mean I have to like everything all the time. It just means that I have to at least be supportive and working through some stuff too. But if I'm that wife saying I'm not coming, or I'm not doing this, or I'm just going to come and that's it. That's not what God called me to do. So I might not have to preach, but I'm supposed to do something more than just sit on this pew. Absolutely. So I just think when you have a household that's not in agreement, that it really it kind of sets the pastor or whoever's leading to kind of be in a bad place. Because if you have, this has to be my best friend. Yeah. You know, like I have this best, but I mean here it has to be like we're like this, because I'm in his day to day, and I'm sure Juan Angel, same thing. They're best friends. Like they have to be in the day to day. Right, for it to work, right? It's just like a business, anything else, right? So, it's a sad number. And same thing, and I think this, and I believe this is what's happening, just in marriage in general. And we talk about ministry, and I love what both of y'all said. But our house is our first ministry. Yeah, definitely. Whether you got a license or not, whether you in clergy or not, your house is your first ministry. If you're a man, your house is your first ministry, and man, some of the greatest moments we've ever had was on vacation, just talking. Yeah, for real. Just talking. Just getting together, just talking, just encouraging each other. And I think for a household, man, you know, Angel, you were about to, you was talking about people waiting to go on vacation. Well, go ahead and.
No, I mean, well, my advice to especially new pastors or, you know, people starting out their churches, I know when we first started, it like what you were saying, at first wanted to be like, well, we can't leave now because, you know, what about this? What about that? Yep. And what I told him, look, if it's something go wrong, this is the best time for it to happen. Absolutely. Yeah. Let's mess up and let this, and then how can you train your people or have people take over if you're always there and you don't give them an opportunity to lead? So
let me add something to that. See, we have been called to make disciples, not to make churches, and I think that's where a lot of pastors fail, because they're trying to create the next mega church, right? Yeah. And when it comes to like travel and taking breaks and things of that nature, it's our responsibility to disciple. And what I mean by that is that pastors, if you're watching, if you have leaders, teach them how you want it done. Yeah. So they should watch you do it. Yeah. Then you do it together, and then you watch them do it, and then you release them. Yeah. if you don't, you'll be like many of us. When we first started, we couldn't take no breaks because we wanted to be at church every week to make sure everything was happening right. Our hands had to be on everything, and it burns you out. I'm telling you, the church ain't going nowhere. Trust me.
And it's because you don't
need
trust.
to take breaks. Really, you need to take time off.
It's hard. You don't trust them yet at the beginning, right? Like it's like, you know, and this is why a lot of people don't have friends or kind of doing it on their own, because they don't trust anybody to. They don't allow them to grow in those things.
Make sure the people that's counting your money, they pass the background check. Have at least 2 people that are not related, right? Count the money when you're gone, and you should be good.
But I say the best leaders are leaders. You know it's a good leader if they can leave and everything runs smoothly.
Come on,
absolutely.
Come on.
That's the sign.
It's just like when your kids, when you leave your kid, when they go to school, that's the time they need to represent you.
You know,
you're not there. So shout out to Lanisa Piccolo. Our they held it down for us for the last 2 weeks while we was out of town.
Man, look, you said this goes back to marriage and relationship, because Nina said something powerful, because you don't trust them. And you said in the beginning about the marriages that sometimes that person is sent to show you yourself. Yeah. So really, if we had people to kind of adequately walk us through it, it's really was something internally in us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not necessarily the people. Yeah. So I love what you said. Go back. Man, this thing is like a marriage, man. And I promise you, man, the Lord was really dealing with me with this, because I was just praying. We've been on just seeking our next move in consecration. And he was showing me that it's going to be a very simple transition, a move. And it's going to be dealing with family. It's going to be dealing with marriages. And this number, and people talk about the church all the time, this number about 50% of pastors and 70% and no friends, this changes in our homes. Yeah. Like, I believe that if we can get our homes together, like if we can try in our homes, man, the church won't have nothing to worry about. But for so long, we've been trying to get people to be great in church without even really touching their home. And not necessarily telling them, but just being an example in front of them. So we need somebody, just like we got people that may be in the quote-unquote world they talk about all they women and all that. It's okay for me to say, I love my woman, she love me, and she gonna do whatever I tell her to do and whatever I need her to do. Amen.
Pastor Merritt,
go ahead.
Pastors can't only be concerned about the church. Like, they got to be concerned about their people. Right? And so when I meet with leaders, a lot of times I'll just ask them, how are you? Like what's going on with you? How is your family? How is your children? Is there anything that you want to talk about? Like they got to know that you care about them, right? And I think that sometimes we make it so much about church that we lose the people, and then they end up getting harmed along the way, because they look at themselves as, I can't keep this up because my home is broke.
Juan, what you said was so true about, like, when certain things come up, it's really something that's going on in you. Because in the beginning, when we first started, like, even with the trust, right, I had not realizing, God was showing me I had some trust issues with people, period. So I didn't trust you to do a good job, not because you were showing me that you could have shown me some signs, but because God still was healing some things, and I wasn't delivered yet from trusting people. And so he will show. It's really like learning yourself. The more you learn about yourself, the more you learn about God. The more you're comfortable with yourself, the more you learn about God in you. So it's just, sometimes we just get to, we have to kind of pull back and get closer to the Lord and allow him to work those things out.
I love it.
So listen to this too. I know Tony gonna want to speak on this one. 71% of pastors say they are overweight by an average of 32.1 pounds. Wow. Now I know you on the health thing.
Look at the look on his face.
So I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you take the wheel.
Listen,
he has not eaten meat in 1
year. How did you change your health situation around?
Well, my father had a quadruple bypass surgery. About 2.5
years ago?
About 2.5 years ago, and it just really made me think about, because I walked that with him, and I knew his concerns about the possibility of having a surgery and not being able to see his family anymore.
Wow, come on.
And so it just really made me think about my own health and just taking steps to kind of live a healthier life. I haven't had any meat since August of last year. And I've always kind of had high blood pressure, and I was working out every day, and no matter what I did, I was still suffering from it. So I said I was going to try something different. And so I was reading up on some things and saw some different videos about, meat and things of that nature. And so I said, I'm going to try it. And this goes back to flipping stones, right?
Come on.
Because the majority of people in my family, I think they have it.
Yeah.
And so I just thought that it was just, one of those things that kind of ran in the family. So my whole thing, I'm taking high blood pressure medicine, and I wanted to get off of it, right? And I'm thinking about my family. I'm thinking about my wife. I want to be here as long as possible. I believe that there's a heaven, and I believe that I'm going to be there, whatever that is, wherever it is. But I ain't ready to go now.
Come on.
Okay. So I stopped eating meat. I went and had a physical.
Yeah.
And my doctor said, man, what are you doing? Your numbers are looking great. I went back and I continued just to stay on this regimen, eating healthier, no meats. I eat fish. And they took me off of my blood pressure medicine. Now, I'm in my mid-40s, right? So you're talking about I had been on high blood pressure medicine for over 25 years, right? So,
come on, man.
All I know is that it helped, and I still don't need it. I'm just very excited about that. But you'll never know. And I know a lot of people, like, this goes back to the whole cultural thing. People that I talk to, like, when I tell them the story, they're like, wow, powerful. But some people can't imagine eating a meal without meat, right? But what are you willing to do?
Oh my God.
At the end of the day, what are you willing to do to live a healthier life? Yeah. And it may not be meat for you. It may be something different.
Yeah.
So,
because, like we prayed for health, right?
Yeah.
Lord,
that's where I'm going.
Because that's what we prayed for him to get off high blood pressure medicine. That's been a prayer of mine. Mm-hmm. So when he took this step, it just confirmation, like I want to lose weight, but I still want to eat these desserts and all these things, or and I'm here. This is my thing too. So but there is a prayer with an action. And sometimes it requires you to do something hard, and be consistent with it too. Consistent, right? So that's testimony, and it's encouraged my whole family.
You gotta really make up in your mind. I was a vegetarian for half a day.
She did good for that half a day. She did good though.
I'm
she
do
just
it.
looked at the meat. She was like,
"Hey, I'm like, throw everything away out the refrigerator." We go back again. We spent $1 million at Whole Foods, and it was over.
Well, I did it for 3 months. I did it with him at the beginning to support him. So when he said he was going to do it, I did it not because I felt like I needed a health change. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do whatever I can to support him in his efforts, because I know how hard is it to go on a diet or to eat right, and then people bringing in stuff. I mean, I'm just saying.
I know.
That's hard, right? So this is something our family had to. My kids did. I made meals. I adjusted. So when he did it, I did it for like 3 to 6 months, and then slowly, chicken wing came in there. Right. I like chicken wings. I love steak. So but now I'm still more mindful.
Look,
I'm not.
We tried to stop drinking cow milk. We bought almond milk. I mean, we tried everything.
It was good for a week.
I know. And then
Juan did try a little bit. Yeah,
I was trying.
No, let me say this. Please let me. Man, Tony hit the nail on the head, and Nina came with the Grand Slam. There's so many people out here that's praying for something, but their actions are counterproductive, counteracting to what they're praying for. He said 25 years, high blood pressure.
Yes.
25 years of high blood pressure. Yeah, we know he prayed, but it wasn't until the action backed it up.
With consistency.
Consistency.
Because you can try a thing one time. It has to be consistent.
Commitment and consistent.
You can't sneak them chicken legs in.
No. It takes more than 24 hours.
She needs to increase her faith.
I prayed and it didn't work. I prayed, Lord, take this taste from me, take this taste from me. Well, it's going to require you to fast for 30 days and detox yourself.
You can't be on Facebook talking about you trying, but you at home in God's face not trying.
Yeah.
Facebook does not determine your blessing. Somebody put a post on Facebook the other day, had me cry. They said, man, when can we cash in on all those? If you like, you'll get this money. Like, when can we cash those in? Because, man, I really believe this. In many ways, Facebook has taken place of our faith.
Yeah.
Man, we feel like if we say it on Facebook, it's done.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's not. And I tell Raymond this all the time. Facebook should not be where you do whatever at. It should be what pops in and catch you doing what you normally do.
Yeah,
that's right.
So if I don't spend no time with my kids, I ain't putting it on Facebook. And I tell them all the time, don't hug my wife if you don't hug yours.
Yeah.
It's disrespectful.
Because the thing is, God's sitting at your house with you while you eating that
yeah,
velvet cake.
he looking at you like,
While
hey, you got the chicken over here.
Like, I'm on this diet.
You taking a selfie over here like that. Vegan line.
No, we're not working out. You got your workout gear on and you got your cake over here on the side. Like, I'm about to smash these cupcakes, but
that's good, man.
But I'm guilty, so I'm just.
But
saying.
that goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like, people just don't have any self-control.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't, like,
roots of the spirit.
Yeah.
And this is for all the Christian folk, watching. If you can't push the plate away for 6 hours,
come on.
Right, and you want God to do all of this stuff, and you can't push it away
fast.
for 6 hours.
No, I can fast.
Right, and you can go through your day and just be working, doing stuff, and not eat. But when we say, hey, we're going to have a corporate fast and we're going to eat, now all of a sudden, here come the devil. Now you got a problem.
You know the devil show up when you about to fast.
Yeah, everybody looking around pouting that check like,
we need some self-control. We got to spend time in our word. We got to spend time when we hear the word, right? And we need to surround ourselves with people that's doing what we're trying to do. So you can't be mixing God and the world all together. We come to Jesus for him to send us back out into the world to present his principles and his kingdom to other people, but we just mixing it all up like it's some sort of gumbo or something.
And it's funny because our churches don't fast like we used to fast though.
We used to.
Look, Cheria said this, and I totally agree. She said forming new habits takes time.
Yes.
And psychologically speaking, it was a study that was done on this. Whatever you do consistently for 30 days becomes a new habit.
Yeah.
And see, a lot of people, they'll stop one thing, but they don't add anything to it. So you have to replace an old habit with a new habit.
Yeah.
So it's not just about, like, I love what he said. It's not just about not just what you cut out, but it's then what you do. What you do, you replace it with. Yeah. What do you put in there? Because a lot of times we try to cut stuff out and we think we good, but you got to replace that time.
Yeah. And
just like fasting.
That's
not doing it with your time.
That's how I'm like, don't fast if you. I mean,
fast, but
you
just pray and read. You just sit in the corner and dream about meat.
But that
you be on Facebook looking at meat. Right?
Yeah, but that comment goes in every area though, right? Like in your relationship when you're trying to speak a different way, or you're trying to handle a situation differently. It takes time to create a habit. It's like if you've always been somebody that had to have the last word, it may take a while for you to get to the point where you're comfortable not having the last word. It might take more than it might even take more than 30 days. So it's like a muscle that you have to, and I tell people all the time, it takes time for you to stop for a minute and think about what you say before you say it if you've never been the type of person. So that comment is for everything, not just health.
And then if you mess up, you gotta get up and keep going. Don't stop.
Don't beat yourself up.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
That's good.
Pick yourself up.
Man, we said 30. It's rolling. Y'all good?
Yeah.
Y'all good?
All right.
Y'all good?
Y'all good?
They good. All
right.
Y'all good?
Y'all have some more questions?
52% of pastors say they experience signs of stress on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
We're going to 10.
Yeah.
Do you experience stress on a weekly basis?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you what?
Experience stress.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
On a weekly basis.
Yeah.
That's 52%.
That's why we need so many vacations.
Yeah.
Yeah, and stress is the bottom line of a lot of things that happen to us. Yeah. Everything. It triggers.
So what do you do to relieve, right? Like we have, my husband he loves movies. Anybody that knows us, we're going to the movies at least 3 times a week.
Movie Pass need to pay us.
That's just because that's his relaxing. That's his relaxing time.
Advertise it.
So you have to create an environment where if you have a stressful job, that you're finding something that does relax you, like intentionally.
Yeah.
Like pulling away.
And I also think that pastors have to educate themselves, because sometimes we practice unhealthy habits, right? Well, how do I manage distress? Well, some pastors don't even think about the management part.
Yeah.
So they're just thinking about the next thing that they need to do. Yeah. Anybody who's pastoring knows that you have one event, and then right after that, you're preparing for the next thing, and then the next thing comes. That's why it's so important for us to make disciples. Like, we have to raise people up and release them so that they can give us the help that we need, because you can't do it alone. And it doesn't have to be perfect all the time, right? I don't know about you, but I still mess up some stuff from time to time, right? And it's okay as long as I'm learning from it, right? And so I just think that it's so important that we continue to educate ourselves, go to some conferences, roll that in plus a vacation, add all that together, right? But you got to read, you got to study, and you got to find some things that can kind of really help you to kind of manage that. Yeah, that's huge.
I mean, self-care is so important, and sometimes it just can't be your spouse. I mean, even if they provide that environment where you can, it has to be a friend or another person that's like, that they have each other to say, hey, you know what? I'm really having a hard time here. Or I'm just overwhelmed, or I'm stressed, and it's okay, because sometimes what happens with pastors, we're supposed to be the one that always have it together. The women or men of faith, and we can't, so but we are human, and sometimes some pastors have a hard time just saying, this is a weakness right now. I'm kind of having a struggle. And I tell people this, I've said this to people in my church, they love you, but will you love me when I'm not doing everything right? Can you love me if I'm really just, even though I haven't, but I could come in and just be off my normal personality. Will you still love me? Or are you going to whisper like, are you going to whisper and talk about me behind my back? See, someone who really loves you, they're going to be there for you when you're not on your, and if they see you having a really rough time, they should have some, if they love you, they're going to pull you aside and say, hey, are you okay? So
you, Nina, you ever felt like you wasn't fit to be a pastor's wife, first lady?
I still sometimes, in my prayer time, I still have said to certain people that sometimes I don't know if I can do this.
Come on, man.
And not that it's because something happened that's bad. It's just because I feel like the weight of the responsibility sometimes is so much expected. It's not even what people have put on me. It's maybe some of the stuff I put on myself. Like I'm expected to do this for the women and do this for the kids and do this and do that and make sure this is done and support this and still, and it's just a lot. So sometimes I feel like I don't want to do it. I mean, not in a bad way, but I don't want that. It's like so much responsibility that I don't feel like I'm good enough to do it, or I don't feel like I have the tools to do it. So it makes me not really sometimes want to neither. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I can confuse with not wanting to do it with not feeling adequate to do it. So, I definitely have felt
I wanted you to say that because so many people think that when they look at us or what we do, and they think it looks so easy. Or y'all don't get stressed out, or you just do, and it's so many. I tell Juan all the time, like, you sure about this? Like, because I'm the worst first lady probably in the world. No, I don't think
you're not.
Like, I'm not.
But I think we all feel that way, because I feel that way.
How am I supposed to do this? Like, because you go from being you to having this title, and it's like. We feel like that we're supposed to be something else.
So that's why it's so important that we not focus so much on what people's expectations are, but on what God's expectations are, right?
Yeah.
And all He's required us to do is to live by faith.
And be yourself.
Right?
And that's what He told me.
I tell her that all the time.
He was like, all I want you to do is be you.
Because I'm at this point in my life, I'm so far out of people's expectations and expectations. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I didn't get there. It was a lot of heartache to get there, and God saying, that ain't it, that ain't what, that ain't it, that ain't it. Then finding value in myself. Yeah. And then with my wife, when she say, are you sure? Because I always tell her, but I need you to be Angel. Like, because when I envision this thing, I envision it being who we are. Yeah. Like, that's the best way to do it. Yeah. That's the easiest way for us. I need her to be my wife.
King Ada.
Yeah.
Right? I need Angel to be my wife. Like, I'm so serious about this piece where the only way we can do it is if we're healthy in our relationship. And what Nina was saying was powerful. We always encourage you, look at me, everybody. Look. Go get some professional help, man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Go get professional help.
Absolutely.
There is, and I hate to throw the statistic out there, we have to be dying sometimes to go to the doctor. That's a whole different story. But we have to be like on our last leg to go get counseling. Yeah. And we tell people this. Yeah. We gonna go get it if it's good or if it's bad. Yeah. It's like a routine. We're going. Go sit down with somebody professional. You have no clue. And I said this when I called in on this radio station, and we were talking the other day. And I said this, and I mean this, you have no clue of what's going on until you sit down with somebody. Yeah. Yeah. You could feel like it's cool because you have a coping mechanism, a defense mechanism. You have to sit down and say, I just don't feel right. Well, how do I feel about this? Or how do I feel about this? And I think it's key, if you're going to train, talk, teach anybody that you have to be able to be taught, train, teach. That ain't a word. Talk. So me and Angel will go sit down. Go get professional help. Go get help. You got brothers and sisters that you can talk to. We talk all the time. Yeah. Then once a year we're sitting on somebody's couch saying, "Better us." Yeah. Go talk to somebody.
Yeah, because and Angel knows I have called her and said I don't know if I can do this. I'm not really good at this, or they and I it's not that I don't. It's not that I can't meet some of the expectations. It's just that it's so much sometimes. Like people come with you ideas, or they want you to do this because you're the pastor's wife, and it's like not. It's just so much. So sometimes, so I thank God that I have somebody that says, you can do, that believes in you, and we do that for each other. But one is important that we do talk to somebody professional, or really kind of know yourself. Because how many times as leaders have you been in a funk and really can't talk about it because you don't really even know why? Like you're just in a bad place spiritually, and you almost feel guilty about being in the bad place. But it's like this, something's going on with you and you don't always know what it is. And then who do you have to talk to? And I'm just being transparent. Sometimes it's hard to talk here because this is the, he may not, and maybe I should do it more because he may be in the same place, right? Like we shared something on the way here about, we're transitioning from a building, and I said, I just want to be real. Like I'm feeling a little fear that I have to kind of deal with. Sometimes it kind of rises up and I'm feeling a little fear, and he said, that's real. But sometimes I'm not necessarily afraid, but I don't want to put my burden on him. I don't want him to now be worried about my burden. So that's why it's good that I have, I have, Angel, then I have, another person that I can just say, you know what, man, I'm really kind of in a funk and I don't know what it is. And I need it's spiritual though. It's not anything. It's not a finance thing. It's just like this spiritual, like I need something God's trying to do, and I need something different. Like I need to go deeper and just being able to identify it, but sometimes there's no words to that. And so if you don't have that circle, if you're not real with it, if you just ignore it, it becomes unhealthy. It becomes depression. It becomes all these different things. And sometimes I learn it's not even my stuff. It's the church's burden that I'm feeling. It's the people. So I just think having a community where you really knowing yourself, I cannot express that enough, that self-care, and then saying, if I need to go get professional help, and be okay with that. We'll spend money on a lot of stuff, but why don't we spend money to go, just to talk things through, and I just feel like for everybody, for married, for ministry people, for not married, for single, like you should talk to somebody sometimes just to get some of that stuff out of your head.
Like I wouldn't go to the hospital if I'm hungry. Right? Like everything has a particular role, and that's why it's so important. If you need help, even if it's not the person that you need the help from, you need to let somebody know so that they can help direct you to who you need to talk to. Like you might need to talk to a pastor. You might need a life coach. You might need a counselor. Like I'll have people come and talk to me, right? And I'll listen to them, and I'm able to identify what they need. They may need more than just my spiritual guidance. My spiritual guidance is you need to go see a professional counselor.
Absolutely.
Like you need to go see a psychological counselor, right? Like you might need a life coach at this point. So it's just letting people know that if you need help, raise your hand, say something to somebody, because it can really help you get to where God is trying to take you.
Man, let me say this, because I think that's powerful, because I think, and I'm just going to be transparent, this is just what I think. I think that's where the church has went wrong. I think the church has failed many because we'll say God or nothing as if the professionals are not in God's will. And in this season, you said that you prayed and then you stopped eating meat. It's two sides to this coin. And I think if you ask me my life's mission now, I'll say it's to show people that God is active in the things we always said he wasn't active in. And I mean that's what a pastor is to me. To say, because we'll do that. We'll bring people in and we'll be doing marriage counseling, but we always have one session where we say, we cannot help you. You need this. You know what I mean? So I think that for so long it's been so one-sided that I may have a doctorate in ministry, which I don't. I'm a doctor, but that don't make me a doctor. I can't discredit the doctors. It goes back, man. When Hope and Faith were sick, we learned this, and we still talk about this to this day. When they got sick, and you know the story. Everybody know the story, I think, and if not, we're not gonna go through it this time. But when people would ask us, what's wrong with them? We would say, she has SVT, she has a leaking valve. They would say, don't say that. And we would say, no.
That's what she.
That's what she had. No, I heard the heartbeat fast, and I saw the valve. Because watch this, and this is what the Lord showed me. There is no miracle if it's not factual first. Because real faith doesn't deny facts. Real faith changes facts. So it's not a testimony if I can't acknowledge that what the man. Look, we thank God for the doctors. We don't be in there rebuking the doctors. Man, you go to the hospital talk about we rebuke you in the neck. No, you got a God-given ability. We thank you because you're gonna make the testimony show. So when the Michigan Chronicle call, they don't call just because God is good. They call because one of the foremost doctors said it was no cure, and then God cured.
Come on.
So I think, and I think we got to figure that balance out, and that's what's been missing. That's why 50% of pastors are getting divorced and 70% are doing this, because sometimes you look, we need spiritual help. But sometimes we need professional help. Sometimes we need them both.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we need them both.
So and even in marriage, right? If you don't really deal with this is what it is. I'm just going to ignore it like this is not happening. But if you don't deal with these things, they're not going to go away.
Absolutely.
I mean, faith and works and faith, like they all kind of go together. So you have to acknowledge, like, be who you are, so you can fix the problem.
A lot of people think if you don't deal with stuff, it goes away.
No, it don't go away. It just worsens.
I asked you that before we got married. We had all them parking tickets. And whatever.
All right,
I said,
look,
I said,
hey man, it's been real, y'all.
We gotta take a break.
Look, I said, why didn't you just
break time?
Why didn't you just pay the tickets? And he said, I just thought if I threw them in a glove box,
I wouldn't have to do it.
I have to deal with it.
Yep, I used to put tickets in the glove box.
Like
if I get a parking ticket,
they didn't go away.
Out of sight, out of mind.
In my mind, if I'm not paying no attention. It's gonna go away.
Hey,
but
that's a message, Juan. That's a message for real.
Because a lot of people feel that way.
A lot of people do that with issues.
Because
I just ignore this problem, it'll just go away.
Absolutely.
Yeah, honestly though, but some people they don't have the tools to deal with it. Like if you come from a broken environment where you were never taught how to take care of business, you were never taught. When I get a ticket, I need to pay it, right? And so that's where I think that when we look at the church, it has to be a holistic approach. Like we preach from the Bible, but how do you apply that to your everyday life? That I'm responsible for the decisions that I make, and if I don't, there's consequences to it. And so I think when we talk about pastors, it's just so important that we're in a position where we're addressing the whole man, not just absolutely. I'm just going to preach the scripture, memorize the scripture, right? It's so much there.
And that if failure is not necessarily failure in God's eyes, like failure, because man may consider something failure, but God doesn't consider it failure. Like sometimes if you have to transition or shut something down and rebuild it, or restart something, or kind of just wash your hands of something, does not mean that you're a failure as a pastor, or a man, or a woman, if you kind of didn't get it right. So I think some pastors, they take that burden on, that I can't really deal with it because I don't want people to see this like I'm not really called, or am I really hearing from, like people do that. So man will put all these things on you that makes it that pressure of now you're performing, not being real. And God will shut that down. He will kind of bring you down to that place where it has to be about him.
And on the flip side, what about when you're in a ministry, it could be anything, and you run your course. You know what I mean? And God,
that's what I was about to say.
And people say,
and it's okay.
Well, I can't. They're going to think this.
Because of a culture they grew up, they don't understand
that is
the
okay.
culture.
But that's why I think it has to be so, like it has to be the voice of the fathers and those leaders that are saying that it's okay. That it's okay. You
don't have to die in this.
Absolutely. You don't have to die doing this.
Even Jesus only did a certain amount of time. I mean, he only did
3 years. 3.5 years.
Yeah, 3.5 years. But look, he was called at birth, but he didn't even do it until he was in his 30s. So look at that.
And what did he do? He passed the baton.
He passed the baton and went on about this.
And went on about his business.
Man, let me say this, and then I know we got to get it, but let me say this, and I think that was powerful. Environment. We're trying to change the environment when it comes to marriage. We're trying to make marriage the culture. Because even with the tickets, that's culturally. I ain't thinking about that. I'm on to trying to get this money. I'm on to, and think about it. I said this last Sunday. How many of you had facts that was factual to you then, but you grew out of them and you found out they wasn't facts? Yeah. So where I'm from, we ain't worried about that.
Yeah.
As long as I stay in city limits.
That's what I'm talking about.
Matter of fact, the cops pulled me over in the city. They let me go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm trying to get to the money, or I'm trying to get over, and I'm trying to do this. And it's factual to you at that point, but it's not really a fact. So think about, let's relate this to a marriage. How many people are married, but they're roommates, and it's factual to them, but we got to pull them out of those facts.
Yeah.
That's the norm.
Yeah.
All right, well, we went over 30 minutes.
That's a good
Thank
thing.
y'all for rocking with us.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having
y'all for coming
Let me
out.
give Sade and Sunshine a hand clap over there.
Good job, ladies.
Listen, y'all don't know how many times
Good job,
they put up
ladies.
the 5 minutes left sign.
Like 45
They-
minutes.
Hey, I was confused. I didn't know, like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes again. Like, what is going on
so
right
what
now?
happens? They'll. This is what I love about. They'll do their job. They put that sign up when they supposed to, and we'll be like. So they be like, yep. They know they be steaming under. Like, listen, you ain't gonna keep putting the sign up.
So before we go, I want to give a shout out to Auntie Riri for my shirt.
Oh, Riri!
Where's mine?
Cheria.
Riri? I thought I was her favorite.
I think she did. Give
And
me one
Auntie
for you.
Riri, you keep giving me these 2X's. I can't fit them no more. Slim Sexy. Alright, I can't fit no 2X. Alright.
The other thing is, I know we talk a lot about traveling and finance and all those type of things.
Yes.
I will be hosting a Dave Ramsey Financial Peace University course. The date will be coming soon. I'm gonna give y'all time. Each person, you will have to pay your fee for all your supplies, but I promise you, pastors,
Get your church here.
get your church there, because it's a 7-step course. It's hard. I'm telling y'all, it's not easy. It is hard, because I'm going to teach you his program, which helps you get out of debt. You're going to learn how to save money, because the first step is I'm going to help you save some money. You're going to pay off all your debt, and you're going to learn how to give, which is very important. And it's going to show how, if you sacrifice today, it will help you be able to live how you want and give how you want.
Amen.
So
I love it.
I'm going to give y'all the information. I'm going to set the day.
Live tomorrow.
And this is, if you're willing to invest in yourself, if you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck, even everybody knows, even with me and my husband, that we had 2 brain surgeries last year. We had a job layoff. We went through a whole lot. But these principles, through all of that, even though we don't have a lot of money, I was able to maintain both our credit scores stayed over a 700 throughout all of that.
Because a good name is better than riches.
A good name is better than riches.
But we do want the riches.
We want the riches. But but if you follow these steps it's not easy steps. I'm going to say that, because I don't want a lot of people come, and when they get to the 3rd step, they give up.
Yeah. And bless somebody else with the program if you already kind of there.
Yeah.
You have a family member, or you know someone, and you have the finances, because if you're good, you have the finances. So bless someone else to go through a program, because so many of us, especially young couples, especially young couples coming up, they're struggling, and they go through some classes.
Yeah. If you want to learn how to buy a house, we'll take you through the process to help you save, to be able to put down money to buy a house, get out of debt, raise your credit score, all that good stuff. So more to come on that. Also, we talked about last week, we are giving away a free vacation, a 7-day vacation.
Woo woo!
What do you want to say?
What we got to do?
Can we be in that bid?
No, y'all not. Y'all not in it. Y'all travel with us enough.
I thank you guys for who sent the email. We're trying to get it to a certain number, but if you're interested in a free vacation, you may not vacation, and you may say, we don't have money to vacation. Well, I shared this last Sunday. When we travel, we don't spend a lot of money, but we took measures before time to ensure that when we wanted to go somewhere, we would be able to do it at a minimal cost. And we're going to teach you that, but we're going to give away a free vacation. If you want it, that free vacation, if you want to win it, what I need you to do is email marriagemattersteam@gmail.com and just say, I'm interested. marriagemattersteam@gmail.com. What we're going to do then, we are going to respond to all those emails when we hit a certain number, and we're going to let you know where this training is, where this teaching is, and when you show up there, that's how we pick who gets the free vacation. But we're going to show you how we travel. So we just stayed in Florida for a week for like $170. Now, if you know anything about villas, $300-400 a night. So we're doing what we're trying to get you to do. So email marriagemattersteam@gmail.com and say, I am interested, and we'll get you that information.
And then...
Do you have to see the people that...
How many emails you got?
I think I'll send them like 10 emails.
It's going to be like T-Sims.
Gmail.com.
Actually, y'all are an excellent testimony because we actually took them how many years ago when we took y'all to Vegas?
That was about 10 years. That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
2-bedroom villa
in Las Vegas, and we took them for their church. It was our church anniversary.
Yeah, it was a church anniversary celebration.
And they haven't traveled the same since.
Absolutely.
Amen. That's what I love about Angel and Wine. Whenever it's our church anniversary or pastoral anniversary, they always give us a free trip.
We're going somewhere. Where we going?
He put a picture up from Vegas like, what y'all doing?
I know.
What's y'all calendar?
Look, we just did a family trip. Now we need an adult trip.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, if you want us to, if you want to send something, if you want to sponsor us, those of you that were sending food, T-shirts.
I'm still waiting on those cookies.
We want to send them cookies. We'll put it right here. We'll wear it. We'll eat it. Our goal is to get in our own studio. Amen. So the Cash App, if you want to Cash App us in, if you want to sow into that vision, please sow into it. This is the first of many, man. We'll be doing Technique Thursdays where we teach you what we teach in marriage counseling. We'll have guests on. And we want to thank Pastor AC and Lady Nina for coming out.
Thank you for having us, man. We enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah. If y'all enjoyed them, if y'all want them back, make sure y'all
send an email.
Let us know.
Or something.
Because they ain't going to come back unless y'all say y'all want them back.
Get on it.
The power is in your fingers.
Do we got everything? Is that everything?
Oh, Vegas. Vegas.
October the 15th through the 21st, our first marriage enhancement. Now, this is not counseling. This is not retreat. It's enhancement. We have what we call the marriage method. We're going to teach you enhancement technique. We can all talk about what's wrong, but we're going to focus on what's good for that 1 week.
Amen.
And hopefully you take that back home and it changes the way you view your partner. We can't just stop and try to be good. We got to show you that there is good and potential in there first.
Yeah.
So it's enhancement. Every year we'll go away for enhancement. So we have rooms. We got a discounted rooms. If you want to go, comment marriagemattersteam@gmail.com and we'll get you set up.
This year's in Las Vegas. Next year we're planning to do Miami. So the people who go this year will have the first bids
to next year.
So if you're interested, I think we had one spot left, but somebody else said they may not be able to go, so that opened up another spot, which means we have 2 spots available.
Yep.
And I think that's all.
And if you pay me more money, I'll get you another spot. Man.
So if they want to go, what do they do?
Email marriagemattersteam@gmail.com and just ask about the trip. I'll send you all the information. I'll send you our code and everything. And, we about to get it in, so let's get it. Man, Cherry said the cookies are coming. When?
I told Cherry this morning, I am a professional quality control cookie tester.
This is true.
Professional.
Those cookies are good.
So she need me to make sure it's enough, chocolate chips in them.
Now, y'all got to save them, though, so you can have them to show during the show. You can't eat them,
That's going to be hard. They better send them on a Thursday.
We need a couple dozen.
Again, man, thank you to Pastor AC and Lady Nina. All of y'all on them, put in the comments, just put claps, man. So much good information.
Yeah.
Share this. We're going to put it up on YouTube, Marriage Matters, SoundCloud, Marriage Matters. We'll be sharing this all over the place. Make this our largest viewing one because it's a lot in there for pastors and just relationships, period.
Or if you have questions for them after the fact, because a lot of people they start sending us messages after when it's not live. Yeah. Y'all can still send the questions. We'll make sure we get those questions to them, and they will answer them for you.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
We out.
Good night.
We out. Oh, wait. Don't. We got a commercial we want y'all to watch, and we want to thank you for watching. Please share this. We love you. Next Thursday at 9 p.m., Marriage Matters with the Merritts. Let's get it. Watch this commercial, y'all. It's pretty neat.
Just found the one you want to spend your whole life with? Thinking of whether to get married or not? Or already married and want to rekindle the flame? Well, that's great, because we can help you. Here, we, Dwayne and Angel Merritt, have been together for 20 years and have been through a lot of life experiences with each other. Come and meet us live on Facebook at Marriage Matters with the Merritts every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Or you can listen to us on Sound, See, Loud, or iTunes too. We will be happy to help you take your first steps towards a beautiful married life. We will be sharing our experiences and talking about everything that matters to your marriage, offering a retreat for couples who want to improve or repair their relationship, but don't know how to. So every Thursday, 9 p.m., tune up your marriage by tuning in to our Marriage Matters podcast. Don't forget, it's every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. See you soon.